Hi guys, I'm Danica Ferrante from mybeautyscraps.com, and today I'm going to share with you my process for how I create a project life spread in my album. In my last video, I showed you the two Studio Calico kits I subscribe to. I subscribe to the scrapbooking kit and the documenter kit, so I thought it would be fun to show you how I use those products. So this page is going to be using the Starlight kit for September 2017 from Studio Calico. I always start by printing out my photos first. I mostly print my photos at home and I use the 3x4 size a lot. So I print out my photos and I cut them down. And my next step is picking out what Project Life cards I'm going to be using for the week. And sometimes I make my own. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using one of the pattern papers from the scrapbooking kit. I cut it at 4 inches and then I'm going to cut it down the line there at 3 inches. So I'll end up with 4 matching 3x4 cards to go behind these 4 very similar photos. I don't often use the same pattern or the same card repeatedly in the same spread, but I thought this kind of looked like a funny little photo strip. This is the right-hand side of my spread for this week. And the right-hand side is actually all about my son's picture day. So we were practicing smiles in the parking lot before we went into his preschool, and he made a ton of silly faces. So I had my fingers crossed that he'd make the right one when it was time to take the photo. So I just wanted a little bit more contrast between the photo and that background card. So on the back of this paper, there's actually that bright red pattern with the little white polka dots. So I just trimmed that out to mat all of the photos in that strip there to help them stand out a little bit more. And here I'm thinking about cutting down all of my journal cards for this page. I don't really end up doing that. But sometimes when I'm thinking about using a big 12 by 12 sheet for a journal card, I find it easier to just cut it, and that way I can move it around the page and see how I like it. So I'm taking just little strips from those two papers and cutting a 4x6 and two 3x4s out of each one. That way I can shuffle them around here and see if I like where they're going. Then I'm going to bring in the journaling cards that I got in the documenter kit and kind of flip through those to see what I might like to use. And before we go on too much further, I feel like I should explain that photo of my son in the bottom right-hand side with his tongue sticking out. So my son's grandma knows the photographer that was doing the picture day at his school. So he thought it would be funny to play a little prank on her and send her that photo and tell her that was what he did for his school picture. So we haven't even gotten his real school pictures back, but we have that fun little prank one to put in the Project Life album. I also kind of hung back in the sidelines while his picture was being taken. So I had that little picture of him from the back posing in the little chair. So I just die cut that out using my layering circle dies from Stampin' Up because I didn't need it to be a whole big picture. And here I'm trying to use up some really old products from my stash. So these are little journaling spots from Jelly Bean Soup. I don't even know how old they are. They are years and years and years old, but they've been in my stash for a while. So I'm trying to use them up. This package all has different numbers on them. So I think I'm going to cut off that 9. Yes, I am. And just use it as a little journaling spot. I've been trying to use up some of these older products in my stash. And then once I've decided I'm happy on the cards I chose and the placement of everything, I'm going to bring out some washi tape and adhere a couple of these 3x4s together. I mostly use the Design A sleeves in my Project Life album, but I do a lot of 3x4s. So when I have two 3x4s that I want to put into a 4x6 pocket, that's my trick. I just put a little washi tape on the back so that they don't slide around, but they can go in that pocket together. So once I'm happy with my placement of everything, I move on to embellishing, which is my favorite part. We got so many fun embellishments in the Studio Calico kit this month. These little rip apart word strips are my favorite. I'm going to use a ton of them on this spread. And I really like those acetate shapes too. They came in the scrapbooking kit and they're just a little bit too big for Project Life. I was able to use that heart and that star, but the rest of them are pretty large, so I think I'm going to save them for a traditional 12 by 12 layout. And I'm going to sprinkle in a lot of these cute little washi tape circles too. Those were a really fun addition to the kit. They're like washi tape circle stickers. And we also got these great little die cuts. So I'm just punching out some banners to alternate so I'm not using all of the tear apart word strips. So one of those word strips says little moments and the other word strip says wild about you. That pink one says totally adorable. And that yellow one just has three little stars on it and then it's blank. So I think I'm gonna add in a little written word like so silly or something for his silly face. That bottom journal card said, yes, I'm still watching. And I was actually going to use it as it was because I was watching him play for a while, waiting for it to be his turn to take his picture. But I ended up using one of the word strips over the I'm still watching. So it says, yes, this makes me so happy. And then through the magic of video, I just added in my journaling. And now I'm going to move on to the left page for this week's spread. So I'm pulling out the pattern papers that I had cut down and the cards from the Documenter kit again, just to see what's going to go well with these photos and also what's going to coordinate well with the right-hand side of the page that I've already completed. I do this sometimes. Usually I'll work on both sides of the page at the same time. Like I'll lay out my album open like I had in the beginning of the video and I'll lay everything all out together. But sometimes I do work on one page at a time and I definitely wanted to do that today so I didn't have to zoom out too much for this video. So when I do show you guys these process videos, if you want to see more, I'll probably just work on one side of the page at a time so I don't have to zoom out too much to get the whole double page spread in shot and you can still kind of see up close what I'm doing. So here's that title card struggle again. I'm flopping back and forth because I just love that like kind of colorful brick pattern that has the words sprinkled in and I really wanted to use that. But I'm going to end up going with this rainbow because I did have an idea and I told you I always struggle for those title cards. And then once I'm happy with how all the cards are laid out, it's time for the embellishment fun again. So I want to make sure I'm using a lot of the same embellishments that I used on the right hand side on the left hand side. So the whole thing will be tied together nicely. So I'm using some of those washi tape circles again, and I'm using some of those word strips. So that word strip says it's the little things in life, and I layered that on one of the little die cut banners that we got too. And I'm going to do that same thing down by that picture of that, I forget what it was called. It looks like a pizza. It's not a pizza. But it was really good. I've got to ask my mother for the recipe. That was from when we had dinner at her house. Oh, so this, I thought about cutting it out and then I was like, nope, I've got to show you guys. This is real life. So I get a little bit of time to work on this Project Life spread and who comes home little guy. So that's my son. He's showing me the projects that he made at preschool, and I thought that was adorable. So I had to keep it in, had to show you guys. And I also want to make a video to show you guys how I save those things, those cute little projects, right? If you have little ones at home, you probably have a ton of those cute little projects that you just don't want to throw away, but you just can't save all of them. So I thought it would be fun to show you guys what I do with all of my son's masterpiece creations. So hopefully I'll have that coming up soon because I have two new ones that I've got to add to the album, right? So I'm trying to use up more of those little journaling spots here. So I just cut apart another one, and that's also using them repeatedly throughout the spread also helps balance everything and makes everything look like it belongs together and ties together well. Here I'm trying to decide what word strip to use. I end up going with the one that says things that make me smile. And I'm just going to cut a little banner flag end onto that one because it's kind of going to hang off from the center. And I just like the way that looked. I didn't do it on all of them, but I did it on a few of them on this page. And then I want to make kind of a little cluster of embellishments up top, but I think I really struggled with this one. I wanted to use some of those washi circles and it just, I don't know. Because they're washi, they're transparent, which I thought would look cool over the photo and the pattern paper at the same time, but it didn't. I felt like it created a weird color and you couldn't really see that it was a heart, so I ripped those off. And I was able, I think, to save some of them. But then I remembered these cute little stickers that we got in the kit too. These are like little puffy stickers. So I added a couple of those to make a little cluster of 3 by that journaling spot. And then I'm going to tackle the title. Like I said, I usually save it for last. I really thought that that striped rainbow was cool and I wanted to try to add like different flags over each color. And I actually cut out a little bit of the video there because I tried a bunch of different ones and I just wasn't happy. And it was, I thought, maybe a little boring for you, for you guys to watch me try a bunch of things that didn't work out well. Um, so I'm just going to go in with the letter stickers. We got these gray ones in the kit. So I'm just spelling out week and 37, which of course was slightly off center and it was annoying me. But instead of ripping up the whole thing, I noticed that the letter sticker sheet had some like punctuations also, and it had the little number symbol. So I'm just going to rip up the 37 and move it over and put the number in, and that's going to help make it centered. So I did like these 2 little banners. And then I was thinking I didn't have any more banners, so maybe I was just going to stamp right on the card. Um, Oh, here, now I'm finally fixing that. So I didn't want to stamp right on the card. I felt like it still needed something else. So I decided to go into my stash of die cuts and see if I could find any in like the yellow, green, blue colors. So it would kind of go with that rainbow. So I was going to use these 2, but I felt like that would be weird if the date was too far off to the side. So I found a similar sized yellow die cut in my stash, and that's what I'm going to use to stamp the dates. So I'm stamping I know everybody does their Project Life album different. I do mine Monday through Sunday. So I'm stamping the date of Monday on the top one and the date of Sunday on the bottom one. So for me, this week 37 is September 11th through September 17th. And I'll give you a close-up look at that. And I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I just did my journaling off camera and I'm calling it done. So I'm gonna give you an up close look at all these cards and pictures. And that's it for the spread. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you liked this sort of process video. If you do, definitely leave me a comment or even just a quick thumbs up and let me know, and I'll share some more with you guys. Maybe even a traditional 12 by 12 scrapbook page would be good. I don't do those very often at all, um, but every once in a while I like to, and I'm definitely inspired to because of those large acetate shapes from this kit. I want to use those soon. So now I'm going to give you an up close look at the right hand side of the page. There it comes. And that's going to be it for me. Definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. I have a lot more subscription box videos coming up, and hopefully some more project life process videos. If you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know. And thanks so much for watching today, you guys, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.